Hello and welcome to ELA Explained. Today we'll be talking about allusions, a literary device that serves a variety of purposes and adds new layers of meaning to any text. An allusion is an indirect reference to a famous event, person, place or work of art. The key word in this definition is indirect, meaning that authors do not explicitly explain what they're referring to. Instead, they rely on the reader's ability to recognize and understand the meaning of these references. Allusions can be drawn from literary works, history, mythology, pop culture, religious texts and other sources, adding connections to the larger context surrounding the text. In this video, we'll look at some of the most common types of allusions, beginning with literary ones. Literary allusions refer to entire literary works or characters and ideas within these works. For example, Eliot's opening lines in The Waste Land directly allude to and at the same time contrast with Geoffrey Chaucer's opening lines in the Canterbury Tales. Chaucer describes April as a time of renewal. One that April with his shore sought her, the drocht of March hath passed to the rota, and bathed every vine in swish liqueur. Eliot paints an unconventional, bleak picture of spring. In The Waste Land, April is the cruelest month. Eliot uses this allusion to contrast the hope of the past with the despair of the present. Mythological allusions are references to myths. Since myths depict fictional characters and events, mythological allusions can be considered a subcategory of literary ones. In his speech to the Virginia Convention, Patrick Henry compares ignoring a painful truth to falling victim to the siren's song. In Greek mythology, the sirens lured sailors to their doom with enchanting music, and their song represents the peril of being lulled into a false sense of security by soothing lies. Just as sailors in Greek mythology who face destruction by ignoring the dangers of the siren's song, Henry warns that the colonists are risking destruction if they continue to avoid confronting Britain. Historical allusions are references to famous historical events or figures. In this example, the phrase "saunter to the Holy Land" ironically alludes to the Crusades, a series of religious wars during the Middle Ages, which were often idealized as noble and pious missions, yet often driven by personal ambition and social pressure. By alluding to the Crusades, William Byrd critiques the trend of emigrating to America, which he sees as another example of an overly romanticized or fashion-driven endeavor guided by societal whims and personal delusion. He reinforces this idea with a literary allusion to Don Quixote, a character known for his unrealistic and often absurd quests. Cultural allusions are references to pop culture, such as movies, music, artists or TV shows. In The Catcher in the Rye, Holden Caulfield mentions the 39 Steps, a famous thriller based on the novel by John Buchan. The allusion subtly reinforces Holden's worldview. He enjoys the 39 Steps because it aligns with his own fears of being trapped in a world he doesn't understand or belong to. By referencing a film about a man fleeing a world that misjudges him, Salinger deepens Holden's characterization as someone who sees himself as an outsider, misunderstood and constantly trying to escape. Religious allusions come from religious texts. The title of the novel House Made of Dawn by Scott Momaday is an allusion to a Navajo prayer. The key themes of the prayer, healing and reconnection, reflect the themes of the novel. Two very popular allusion types in English literature are classical and biblical allusions. These usually overlap with literary, mythological, historical or religious ones, but since they occur so often in English literature, I decided to address them separately in this video. Classical allusions are references to the literature, philosophy, art and history of ancient Greece and Rome. For example, in Walden, Thoreau alludes to Achilles and the Spartan code of honor, where warriors were expected to return from battle with their shield, victorious, or upon it, dead. This allusion helps Thoreau give depth and grandeur to a seemingly ordinary observation. Biblical allusions are references to characters, stories, or themes from the Bible. This line from The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck refers to the imagery in Revelation 14:19, which describes an apocalyptic vision of divine judgment. So the angel swung his sickle across the earth and gathered the grape harvest of the earth and threw it into the great winepress of the wrath of God. This imagery also appears in the Battle Hymn of the Republic, which likens the American Civil War to a righteous battle. Steinbeck builds on both sources to critique the social and economic injustices of the Great Depression, symbolizing the suffering of migrant workers as an inevitable reckoning. Finally, it is important to know that allusions are not necessarily textual references. Sometimes authors imitate the style, tone, or structure of another work, but make their own changes. Such allusions can often be creative reinterpretations of the original or parodies. James Joyce's Ulysses is a complex allusion to Homer's Odyssey. Joyce reimagines Homer's epic tale of Odysseus' journey home in a radically different context, setting it in Dublin on a single day. So, why do authors use allusions? As we can see from the examples in this video, allusions serve multiple purposes. One of these purposes is to establish a closer connection with the reader. Since allusions are implicit, authors use them when they assume that they and their readers share the wider context and have a good understanding of the works, people, or events being referred to. Since allusions rely on the reader's prior knowledge, they allow authors to convey complex ideas and evoke strong emotional associations among their readers, adding new layers of meaning to their work. In argumentative writing, allusions which refer to famous historical figures or philosophers can also add authority to authors' words. Understanding allusions can enrich our reading experience, helping us uncover the hidden threads that connect literature to history, mythology, and culture. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.